Elk Valley Ranches consists of myself and my wife, Donna, and then I've got 3 sons that are working on the farm now. And we ranch about 6,000 acres. We're pretty well strictly grass farmers. We do no grain at all. On the 6,000 acres, it's split into bison and elk. We first got started in 1985. At that time, I mean, we had 1/4 section, and I think we had 15 elk. So it was pretty well a hobby. We've had our ups and downs. Our biggest problem is government regulation. We're very, very regulated, and so it takes a lot of paperwork and a lot of things that I'd rather not be doing, but we have a lot of government rules and regulations that we have to abide by. My wife is pretty well busy full-time just doing that end of it. The biggest problem is elk are still considered wildlife, and we're regulated strictly by Fish and Wildlife, and they don't understand farmers. They understand wildlife, and so they just totally over-regulate it. They've got it to the stage now where it's very, very difficult just getting all the paperwork done. What I like to think is there's 2 elk. There's the elk in the wild, which is absolutely wildlife, which belongs to the people of Alberta. And then there's the elk behind my fence that I've raised and I've nurtured, and those are domesticated elk. In all fairness, they should be totally governed by agriculture. They should have nothing to do with wildlife. The animals that I have on my property, they're 6th or 7th generation on our ranch. You know, it's no different than a beef or a horse or anything else. Fish and Wildlife has nothing to do with those domestic animals, and they shouldn't have in ours either. You know, it's like this animal in the background. I mean, we pick out the desirable traits, what we want in an animal. Like, we have a computer program that I've had since 1985. I know every daughter and every son and grandparents back at least 6 or 7 generations. So I can tell what traits this certain female may need to make a better son or a better daughter. I guess really what I consider myself is a grass farmer. I'm not an elk farmer, I'm not a bison farmer. I raise grass, and my elk and my bison process that grass into cash. My motto is I want to leave the land better than when I got it. And the land is far better than what it was 20 years ago. Every year it's getting better because of the way we're rotating pastures and feeding out into pastures and stuff. And we don't hardly even have to fertilize a lot of our pasture lands because we've got our phosphorus up, we've got our nitrogen up, mainly just by rotation and looking after the grass properly. So my grandsons should have better land than what I started with. We've had some tough times. You know, when our borders got closed, and we couldn't move animals out of the province because of CWD. I mean, at the time, so we had to prove we didn't have it. But I'd never give up this life for anything else. You know, like when I get out of bed every morning, I'm happy to get out of bed. You know, there's things for me to do, and I quite enjoy what I'm doing. We don't believe you should have to starve to be a farmer. You should be able to make a buck being a farmer, and you should be able to enjoy life. And we also believe in maintaining our land and maintaining the integrity of the animals. So a lot of city people come out and they go, oh my God, how can you deal with those big animals? An elk will tell you if he's mad. I mean, he'll tell you if he's going to run, if he's going to fight, if he's scared. So, I mean, I'll go into a corral, and if a bull starts sticking his tongue out the side of his face and starts grinding, I get out of there. I'm watching to see if the bull's scared. As long as he's scared, I'm not scared. But if he's not scared, I leave because they will pound the heck out of you. People say, well, how can you eat that velvet? When we say you're eating velvet antler, they presume that we're eating the fuzz on the outside, and that's not the case at all. The fuzz on the outside, it gets discarded just like the fuzz on a peach, and you take the stuff on the inside is what you actually make the product out of. The elk is a nice lean meat. You know, it's a good variety compared to beef and pork. It gives you something else to eat on a regular basis. And it is very, very healthy for you because the majority of elk meat is all raised on green grass. So, you know, the quality of the meat is absolutely excellent. My grandfather was the person that I kind of got my love of the land off of. I guess the philosophy that we have on our ranch is we want to make it a viable industry, and we also believe in maintaining our land and maintaining the integrity of the animals.